went to university, one of the stark differences I could notice between IB students and A-level students was the idea that we had been given the tools to think critically. Of course, in some instances, being at university, specifically a UK-based university, sometimes thinking critically hasn't always been appreciated. There was one instance when I wrote an essay about archaeological preservation, and I sort of created a new idea of what preservation could mean, and the professor didn't take very kindly to that and didn't give me a very good mark for the essay, I'm afraid. But the idea that someone wasn't allowed to creatively consider what a term meant or how we could approach a question was a bit disappointing. There have been multiple occasions where I've actually had to use TOK outside of school. University aside, there have been instances where I've had debates with friends or family about contemporary issues, the most recent being the refugee crisis. It's important to consider multiple perspectives on an issue, and that is something that TOK has definitely been able to give me. The idea that I can appreciate alternative views, but also recognise that not everybody can be right. There is a distinct difference, I think, in appreciating other views and other cultures, whilst also maintaining an understanding that we shouldn't delve into the rather sticky depths of cultural relativism. That's something that TOK definitely taught me. I also recently wrote an article for the Dalai Lama Centre of Compassion in Oxford, which looks at the role compassion plays in world affairs and how we can use compassion in everyday life. But the question is, should we? How do we know when the right opportunity arises for us to use compassion? How does that compassion manifest itself? So questions that arise from TOK can be brought into very real world issues, which I think is one of the most important things about it. Something which I think is also often overlooked is the fact that TOK is, in my opinion, something which links the entire IB diploma programme together. It should permeate everything students do. I found sometimes that that wasn't the case in my own subjects, in my own education, but it's something that I definitely learned after being in school. At university, I studied some social anthropology, and being able to bring TOK so obviously into what we learn and what we know was really invigorating and exciting. And it was a breath of fresh air after the somewhat stifling aspects of archaeology, which don't seem to want to be able to move forward.